All right, yesterday we learned about how to find perimeter. And remember, perimeter rim meter means the measurement around the rim of a polygon. And yesterday we learned four basic formulas. The first formula was a general formula: perimeter of any polygon is equal to S1 plus S2 plus S3 plus ... SL, which is a fancy-smancy mathematical way of saying just add the sides together. Because this is side 1, side 2, side 3, all the way to the last side. All right. The second formula we learned was perimeter of a rectangle is equal to, 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Or, if you use the distributive property, it would be 2 times the sum of the length and the width. All right? And then we had perimeter of a square, which was equal to 4 times the length of the side. And finally, the perimeter of any regular polygon, that's one where all sides are the same, is n times s, which is the number of sides times the length of the sides. Now again, that's what we did yesterday. Today we want to talk about something called area. And area is the measurement of the inside of a polygon. And again, yesterday we learned how to measure the perimeter outside. Today we want to learn how to measure the inside. And if I had a rectangle like this and I want the area, I want to know what's the measurement inside of here. And that causes a problem. Because how can I measure with a meter stick or a yardstick, how can I measure the inside of there? Because this is a linear measurement. I can measure the length across, and I keep measuring the length across, but I can't measure every single solitary time across. So actually, the ruler is useless when you're going to find area. But really, it's not useless, okay? Because what you can do is you can measure the length and you can measure the width. And say that this was 1, 2, 3, 4 centimeters long, and this was 1, 2, 3 centimeters wide. And again, if I wanted to measure, I could cut across at each measurement, and what I have is the inside is filled with little tiny squares. Okay? And again, that would be like if I wanted this rectangle right here, and I broke it up into the little squares. Each of those squares would be this size. And this is called a square inch. And the reason this is called a square inch is because literally it's a square and each side is 1 inch long. Thus the name square inch. So if I wanted to find the perimeter of this square, I'd have to see how many square inches are in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There are 20 square inches in this rectangle. That's the area, 20 square inches. And literally, it's 20 squares that are 1 inch long and 1 inch wide. Now, I could do that every time I wanted to find area. I could mark it off and draw it out and sit there and count them. But there's actually an easier way to do that. Can anyone think of an easier way to do that? Do, 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 do. Yes, you're right. You can find it by multiplying the length times the width. Because you actually have 5 different centimeters across, and there's 4 in each row. So there's 5 rows with 4 in each row. So again, 5 times 4 is 20 square centimeters. So the formula for area of a rectangle is equal to length times width. And again, excuse me, if you want to find the area of a rectangle, all you have to do is take the length and multiply it times the width. So if I had this rectangle that was 4 centimeters long and 3 centimeters wide, remember I want you to use the formula. So what you would have to do is first write the formula, area of a rectangle equals length times width, replace the length with 4 centimeters, replace the width with 3 centimeters, and then multiply 4 times 3 is 12. But be careful, because it's not 12 centimeters. It's 12 square centimeters. Because 12 centimeters would be a distance from about right here to there. It would be a distance about that long. That's not what's inside of here. Okay, what's inside of here is 12 squares. 3 rows, 4 rows with 3 in each row. 12 squares that are 1 centimeter long and 1 centimeter wide. So that's how you use the formula for area of a rectangle. By the way, speaking of squares, you know a square is a special type of rectangle that has all sides congruent. And if I was to say that each side of this, say, was 3 feet, again, instead of sitting here and multiplying it out, okay, and instead of using length times width, the length and the width are the same. So for area of a square, the formula becomes psi to the second power. Because what does it mean to take something to the second power? It means multiply it times itself. So if you want the area of a square, you first write the formula, area of a square equals psi to the second power. Then you replace the measurement with 3 feet and you square it, which means you go 3 feet times 3 feet, which equals 9, not feet, but 9 square feet. By the way, mathematicians are lazy. That's why I think I like math so much, because I'm kind of lazy. But they don't like to write out any more than they have to. So what some mathematicians do, instead of saying like 12 square feet, SQCM, square centimeters rather, SQCM, they write 12 centimeters to the second power, which is read 12 centimeters squared. And again, the same thing here. Instead of 9 square feet, SQFT, it would be 9 feet to the second power, or 9 feet squared. And again, you can write it like this, or you can write it like that, but you cannot just write centimeters or feet, because area is a square measurement. It is not a, straight measurement. Perimeter are straight measurements. Area is square measurements.